Welcome back to Weebology, everybody. I am your slightly anxious Professor Ricky.
I'm extremely anxious, Professor Ethan.
So we're playing a game with this episode. Last week, if you know, we were recording in a double batch, and we had not much to talk about for this one. We figured it out. We got an idea for you guys.
We got tons of shit.
We got tons of shit.
You're
right.
saying this like we literally aren't gonna make the exact amount of time that we need to make.
What and when do we not pull it out of our ass? Like every time.
I don't think we've ever not pulled it out of our ass.
The last time we took notes was like episode 15. Oh, no, the mythology episode was the last time I took notes,
which was like episode 40.
Okay, fine.
I think I don't even remember.
51 episodes ago. This is 91. But yes, we're playing a game this one, aka see if we can get an entire episode with the remaining amount of battery in our GoPro for YouTube. And it's not much left. So we're gonna bust a snap off this week. Just a quick buddy out this week. And if you want more content, go check us out on the Patreon.
True. Japanese mythology was episode 54.
Okay, so
the reason we're ripping off a double batch is because I'm going to be in a wedding. One of my best homies, CJ.
Oh, good boy.
If you're listening by any chance, I don't know why you would.
You should make him listen because I think he'd really like it.
He doesn't watch anime, so
not yet. He doesn't.
He watched that. He is my friend from college that watched all of Death Note in literally 2 days.
Yeah, he's got the binging chops for anybody.
100%.
Yeah, he's got it.
But anyway, yeah, I'm in his wedding next week, so I'm not gonna have time to record another episode, which is why we're doing it now. Yeah. Which is also why we've compressed all this, and let's get right into it.
Okay, so this week we are gonna do one of our favorite segments we haven't done in a hot minute. We're gonna do a pitch or ditch. Pitch or ditch. I need to make a sting for that.
Yeah, we should just actually record something.
Make a sting.
Have to fucking do
some royalty-free riffs, some licks, some sweet
Our last one was in October.
Okay, so looks like we are overdue for a good pitch or ditch. So picture this, if you don't know what this is.
Dish that shit.
Pitch or dish this ish. So if you don't know what the segment is, Ethan and I will come with a show we know the other has not watched. We'll do our best in the first part to pitch each other the shows to make it seem compelling as we can, to practice our chops and to give you guys the ability to, pitch to your friends, pitch to your family, pitch it to your grandma. I don't care. Pitch to your dog. He'll watch it. She'll watch it. I don't care. Make the pitches universal for all species. That's how it's got to be.
So I'm pitching you interspecies reviewers, obviously.
Great. My dog's going to love that. But then we come back at a later date to do Pitch or Ditch Redux, where we'll actually review the shows we watch and pitch to each other and see if we had pitched each other a pitch or a ditch.
I would say more importantly, it's reviewing our pitches.
Yes, because we want to make sure that we have some elite level chops of pitching anime to the masses, whether they're weeblets, they're wits, weebs and twaining. Whoa. That literally came out as twaining, and I don't like that it happened. But I guess it's a baby thing. It's like baby talk. Weebs and twaining.
You good, bro?
No. I'm breaking down hard. I'm breaking down.
Yo.
But yeah, pitches for the noobs and the veterans alike. And don't, unless you want to, talk to them in baby talk.
Don't do that. It's one of the things I hate the most.
Go ahead and watch My Hero Academia.
I hate it the
most. All right. Which one of us want to go first? You want to pitch me something? What do you got?
Sure, I think this is gonna be fine.
Okay.
So I'm pitching you the show. I'm Standing on a Million Lives.
Interesting. I'm glad you're pitching me this because Verve won't stop pitching it to me in my recommendeds all the fucking time. So hit me.
So the reason I watched it is because it had a dub already.
Okay.
And it was a recent show.
Fascinating.
So I watched it on Hulu.
Okay.
I believe the dub is probably done by now. At the time, it had only done, I think, 9 of the 12 episodes dubbed. And so I had to switch at the end and watch it sub, which, whatever, I'm used to that.
I'm going to watch it in sub, so that's how it's going to be.
Okay.
How did you not see that coming?
I do. I still vehemently disagree with that standpoint.
That's totally fine. We'll always be at odds.
That's kind of the point.
We'll be at odds on that one forever. But okay.
I'll be your dub guy and you can be my sub guy.
I'll be a sub boy.
Yeah, so I honestly was pitched it as well by Hulu, so I was like, screw it, I'll watch it.
If you want to shut up about it, Hulu.
First off, isekai.
Okay.
So I think you'll like it.
Already ears up. I'm already here.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely a serviceable isekai. It doesn't do anything like super different. It doesn't do anything like change the game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think it knows what it is and it plays to that as well as it can.
For the isekai genre, I think that's a baseline now. If you know you're an isekai, there's an enjoyable level. Like you're not trying to like be the new thing, right? And I'm here for that. I'm cool with that. So I'm in.
I want to read the review, or not the review, but like the plot summary like thing that Penguin House, Random House.
Okay.
Which is like a massive book retailer.
Wait, the Penguin?
Yeah.
Oh, the publisher. Okay.
The publisher.
Okay.
They posted this. I'm assuming without having known much about anime or manga.
Okay.
But I just want to say, because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, hit me with that.
The provocative action manga that's about to become a major anime. A teenage loner gets transported into a fantasy world with his two scary female classmates. The girls find themselves as a wizard and a warrior, but he's woken up as a farmer. How will be...
Oh, you got me for twaining,
It's bad English. No, they literally wrote, how will be become a hero now. I think it means how will he become a hero now.
How will be become hero now?
They're a publisher, so I just want to...
I want to emphasize that they're
this is a publisher.
Huge international
one of
publisher.
the largest ones.
How will B become hero now?
Yeah. A new fantasy perfect for fans of Sword Art Online, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
How dare they put those two next to each other?
Bad juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Our heroes, two girls and a farmer? Question marks?
So the three genders we all know is male, female, and farmer, obviously.
Yeah. So basically, I'm not going to read too many more of these things.
Okay.
More of this, but I just thought that was really funny.
That was fucking funny.
It's like it's like what they probably think that we want to hear as weebs. Yeah. Wow, really? Sword Art Online and slime?
Whoa, it's like if you're a fan of either of these, I am a fan of both of these.
A farmer? What the fuck?
I'm one of those.
Yeah. No, so it does have a pretty cool class selection system.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go over a little bit of what first episode is, because that's not much of a spoiler.
Hit me with it.
So he is kind of a loner, a big game guy, okay?
Okay.
And it's this interesting, like almost Darwin's Game-esque way that they get taken to this new world. Well,
it's a whole squad.
The two girls and him.
Oh, I thought that they squad up when they're already in the other world. So all three of them go.
So it's like actually asynchronous.
Ooh.
It's a very interesting.
All right.
As I said, this isn't like groundbreaking by any means, but it's just an interesting look at a different way isekai could happen.
Okay.
And it's very like, I think if you're a fan of games and stuff like that, you'll kind of understand, or you'll see some of the like tropes that they use in games that is pretty fun. But I'll just lay out how it worked, because I think it's just a little interesting. They get transported to this new world.
Okay.
And the like game master is really weird. He's like weird as fuck.
So there's a game master.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll come to you and he'll be like, welcome, yada yada. Basically, it's time to pick your job or your skills or whatever, your class.
Sure.
And you spin this big like Wheel of Fortune wheel to get your class. Yeah.
Shit shoveler. Damn it.
So first girl gets magician, and then her task is something dumb.
Okay.
The second girl, it kind of alludes to who it's going to be to her. So
okay.
Like a real life person is told to her by the game master. So apparently there's something going on like outside of dimensions.
Right. So there's kind of dimensional communication happening, interdimensional communication.
Where he knows something that you know what I mean? Like a real world person.
He's acting in our Earth to give them kind of an agency in the other world, you think?
No, like he's telling her this person's going to be your target, essentially.
Oh, so he has like this omnipotence over that world.
He like knows what's going on in the real world, and obviously is a game master of this world.
That's cool.
And,
okay.
So basically explains this person's going to be the next one. Like we'll randomly text them out of nowhere. Like weeks after they thought it was a dream, you know?
Yeah.
And it would be like, this is the next person, do this. Like gives them tasks in the real world to do.
Ooh.
So they go do it to like ensure that this person will be the next one that gets taken to the game.
So he's making them almost the isekai agents to get more individuals in.
Like I said, an interesting take on isekai.
Okay. All right.
And so the first two girls that go are just absolute dog shit at games, like very bad at games, as girls in anime seem to be.
Except for High School Girl.
High School Girl.
High School Girl. I said that every time I say that show.
It's okay.
I say High School Girl, but High Score Girl continue.
Yeah, so they're bad at the games, but they get easy tasks in the beginning.
Okay.
Then as they add more people to their team, the tasks start getting like really fucking hard.
Okay.
So as far as I'm in the show, which is the end of the first season, the tasks are starting to get like almost nearly insurmountable with the amount of people that they get.
Fascinating.
So the difficulty of task is ramping up, as well as you can basically, as you level up, gain the ability to spin the wheel again and get an additional class.
You can multi-class.
So
nice.
It's just got a lot of really like fun RPG kind of what would you call it? Characteristics and traits that I think do well in an isekai, obviously, since they're, the main thing for a lot of isekais. But I think it's a really interesting situation because the main character is like a super otaku.
Okay.
But the way that they kind of play this is if you can like basically, okay, say there's you and two people in your party.
Sure.
Two of them can die and the third guy can run away, and then those two will respawn after X period of time.
As long as your party in some respect is intact, even if it's just one person.
Yes.
Ooh.
But
that's cool. That's some strats.
If you die in a spot where you just continually die, if you respawn, you can't come back until they finish the task.
Oh,
so
my
it's
God.
very strategic in the way that you play this game.
Yeah.
And the way that you complete these tasks.
So it's gamified in a way that's actually compelling.
It's compelling and like semi-realistic and interesting.
Yes.
So it's not like, it's like I almost don't know how to like really compare it to other isekai.
It has a vibe of Log Horizon for me because that's
haven't seen it.
It's okay, but that one is not. It basically stretches what RPGs and the elements therein can do for a fantasy game type world. They're locked in that other world as if it's real, but it has like, I've used this example on the show in the past. They didn't know how to craft new food until they found out how to do it in the menu structure, right? They had to actually open it up, and a couple months in, they're like, oh, if I go here, here, and here, pick these items, and then hit this, then I can cook.
What are they, fucking dumb?
Right. They've always been buying food. And then they're like, wait, well, the thing is, like, they just never put two and two together, right? They just, like, they tried to cook in that world, and they're like, I don't know how to fucking do this. Oh, we can do it a lot easier if we use this in the menu structure. They are leveraging the RPG and game elements in
like,
that
as
show.
in they've never played games, or like it's just harder for them to figure it out?
In that they didn't realize how gamified the world was, and then they started to kind of catch on, and then now it ramps up because of that.
Mm.
In this show, they understand it's a game from the outset, but they stretch it. It seems that they stretch it in a way that's compelling in different areas.
So it's interesting because the first two people don't play games.
Right. Okay. So
they come in and they like literally have to just guess.
Okay. Right.
But it has an interesting element where it's like a game feature where you can like Dark Souls, where you can like show what you did asynchronously.
Sure.
So when he's walking around, if he touches these little like mind stones or whatever the fuck they call them, he can see what the first two chicks tried to do originally.
Kind of like a log of things, like literally.
It's super very interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Like, piece of that.
Okay.
And then I'm not quite sure yet what's going on with like time, but it seems like every time they come back, time has progressed through this world.
Interesting. So even they have a lag of respawn. Like they can be dormant for a hot second and then they jump back in.
Well, it's more like there's an accelerated time period going on within the game, and then them coming back to it, like they jump in wherever. You know what I mean? Like say 1,000 years is a day in real life. That's kind of how it works.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know if that's the exact time period.
So them jumping out and then going back in, there could be quite a bit of history that could happen.
Yeah,
in that
like
span.
big changes.
Right.
And there's also this aspect where the NPCs in the game are kind of like, they know of great heroes, and so they can recognize them immediately that they're like heroes.
Okay.
So they'll like come back and they'll be like, what happened to this town? They're like, well, 150 years ago, after the great heroes helped us beat X, that town was demolished and never got remade. So it's just kind of an interesting way of like continuing their lore through that series.
Okay.
And then also there's this interesting thing where like the game master has like a very interesting way of doing things where he like doesn't really like fully speak sentences. And he's like he cuts off every sentence he has.
So it's not cryptic, it's literally just cutting off the sentence.
It's like something like happened to him because he doesn't have a top of his head. It's like literally just like there and up.
Whoa.
Is gone.
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be like of any real significance.
Visually, that's crazy.
It's just interesting.
Right.
Like it feels super gamey.
Okay, cool.
But then, like just very like serious stakes right off the outset because as I said, the tasks start getting pretty ridiculous. And so them dying is like very common.
Sure.
But this world seems to be like accelerating at a pace to where like they're being faced with tasks that are like way too fucking hard for where they're at.
Okay.
It's very interesting. And there's time limits to everything. So like they can't just grind away, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think you'll enjoy the way they do the quest system, and then the way that they do the class system is very interesting as well.
I'm here for it. Okay. That's a good pitch. You kind of appealed to knowing I'm an isekai guy, and you're just kind of like, all right, this is what makes this isekai special. I think if anyone out
different,
there,
maybe not special.
Okay, but yeah, what sets it apart from others? What makes this in the genre stand out? Okay.
And I think there's going to be a concept that you're going to really enjoy. I'm not going to spoil what it is.
Okay.
But it's definitely more toward the end of the season. You'll see this kind of cropping up a lot more.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a morality question.
Ah.
And it's going to be, I mean, it was like,
It'll
wow.
hit. It'll hit. Okay. I might watch it after we record because I got nothing to do this evening but watch some anime and make a website.
I wish that was me.
Yeah, and make a website. But okay, good pitch. I liked that you went heavy on. If you're gonna do an isekai to someone who is already a fan of isekais, go heavy on mechanics.
Yeah,
like that will sell somebody. Because
so I watched it during my isekai kick recently. If you remember, I watched both Fury, this, and Infinite Dinjagram like right back to back to back.
Yeah. How was Infinite Dinjagram? We talked about this, right? It was all right.
I don't think we did. Very, very solid. I think once again, I think this has less new things than like those other two that I talked about. But
Sure.
There is this very interesting like power comes in the form of this thing called an embryo, which will grow with you.
Oh, is it familiar or is it more internal?
Exactly.
Okay, so it's familiar. Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. All right, might give that a watch, but still, first in the list is Million Lives. Okay.
And compelling ass title. Like I instantly was like, I have to watch this. Like,
really?
I mean, right? I'm standing on 1,000,000 lives. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, right. What does that mean? And I actually heard mixed reviews from the internet at large.
I'm sure not a lot of people aren't gonna like this show. Like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that's gonna like change your life.
But it has enough sauce for me to
for me. I don't know if it's gonna apply to you. This is kind of a trial.
Oh, dude, it's isekai. It already applies. Speaking of isekais, it's very shocking that we're going isekai v isekai right now. Pitch and pitch, isekai, double down, double trouble.
All right, let's hear it.
So, as I said like I said last week, that you invaded my car when I showed up today, I had brought up this show and that I got it from being a giga cuck and watched his best of 2020, which he himself said, I don't want to go into the ones that like slapped. I want to go into mine that were like some of my faves. Near hit the top of his list was one I had never heard but saw clips and was enamored by the production quality initially. Like I'm talking top tier, like up there, if not maybe some scenes a little better than Jujutsu Kaisen in terms of its best. And this show is called Jobless Reincarnation. I did a little research. We have said in the past that we talked about Sword Art Online being the father of modern isekai. if SAO is the father, this one is the great-grandfather. This is really it. It is a manga from way before Sword Art Online, way before a lot of the modern isekais, and I truly believe after watching this show, at least what's out of this show, this could be the true grandfather of modern isekai. And I think this will grab your attention huge. Right now, it has an 8.3 on Mal. It is a show that is about, I think, we have seen isekais in the past that,
this is the Mashuku Tensei.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is the one that, I think this is someone said we need to be watching this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here it is. Finally got onto it, and oh my God, it's so fucking good. Here's the rub.
Is this a game?
I don't know. I don't know much about it. It's a
platform iOS/Android.
It's originally, I thought it was originally an early manga. Like, its original conception was really early. Here, let me give you the rub. Let me give you the rub. So, again, isekai, shut-in otaku, gets transported to another world. Some of the big things.
As a little baby boy?
As a little baby boy. Like Demon King style, right? Unzagul. Yes, that shit. So, this is probably the only isekai you or I, have ever, and maybe for a while will ever watch, that is a true look at a real world, proper shut-in otaku being transported. His introduction is him masturbating to hentai in his room, never going outside for 20 years. He is tried and true shut-in. Never. He is an ugly bastard tag left and right. Like, he is.
It says it was originally published in 2012.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Because people, I guess maybe it was Gigas, but people in the comments were like, this is right, that this may actually be the real grandfather of modern isekai. Fuck Sword Art Online.
2012 is a long time ago.
True. So it's kind of in that realm, but this might be it. And I'm seeing it. No, I get it.
I'm just going to say, off the rip,
yeah,
telling me that this guy's masturbating in the first episode isn't very appealing.
I understand. But I'm pitching to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's not working so far.
He is transported, but he keeps all of his memories and his awareness as a wee babe in this new world. But
wait a minute. So he's a baby.
He can't talk, but he has, like, you get all
consciousness is all still there.
Yeah, consciousness all still there.
That would fucking suck.
Yeah, and but the thing is, we start from the beginning of his new life. Like, he is kind of conceptualizing, okay, I'm a baby. Like, what can I do? What am I able to do right now?
Can I fucking cry right now?
Yeah, what can I do right now? But as it goes on, I'm starting to realize why this is such a departure, why this is so different from other isekais, because he's a shut-in because he was bullied mercilessly. He has PTSD from being, like, social anxiety. That didn't just go away because he's in a new world. He still has fears initially of leaving the fucking house, like, because he's still tweaked from his old world. This is probably the best look I've seen in a long time of an actual Earth human being being transported, but they didn't just magically become a hero, right? He still has to get over his own anxieties and insecurities and everything, even though he is a boy born in a world with magic and sorcery and swords and everything. And he has a gift for magic, but he has no talent for swords play. Both are equally valued in this world. So his dad is a swordsman, his mom is a magician, and
that's hot.
Right. And also they are hot to trot for each other the entire time. Like the entire time. And him as a baby, they'll, like, start making out on the floor next to him, and he's like, ugh, okay, like,
here we go again.
Yeah, in his head, he's like, all right, this is like the fourth time today. God damn it! Like, and he's a baby, so he can't say anything. So you get a lot of interesting inner monologue of him, and he's like,
how many episodes are out?
5 now.
Oh my God, you're pitching this so early.
I am pitching it early, but I think it's got the chops. Animation wise,
it's so funny.
Animation wise, it might be the best looking show of the season. Done. Done.
We'll see what happens.
It is fucking, like, we're talking, like, better than Vinland Saga or in that same camp. Like we're talking like better than some Jujutsu Kaisen fight scenes. Like
Jujutsu fight scenes?
Jujutsu fight scenes.
That's even a better way of like
Jujutsu fight scenes.
That's awesome.
But yeah, there's something about this show. And maybe we can hold the Pitcher Ditch Redux off a little bit to give you some more.
We have to.
No, we don't. No, we don't. You could do a 6 review and see if my pitch works. I mean, the reason why I think the show works is because they don't just suddenly make the guy transported a hero. He's no Nafumi. He's no Kirito. He's no just person dropped in that is quote unquote a Shonen Otaku that we talked about in the past. He's not just suddenly the suave, perfect, vessel of an MC who's OP and everything. He's a real human being. He's a real dude who has his own things to work out from the other world before he can progress in this one. And they do a very, very intricate job of making that very aware that just because you are the main character of this new story and you have all this magic going for you, he's powerful. He's a powerful dude, but still has all that tweaked up shit in his head. Like he'll have flashbacks from his old world about him being bullied, like literally stripped naked and pictures taken of him at school. People were just making fun of him. It's bad. But this new world, he just has to like get over all this anxiety and these PTSD essentially.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating, I think
Seems
honestly.
Interesting. I think the coolest part is like, I'm obviously concerned off the rip that could get so boring that he's like, just like very powerful, but such a like shut in about it, you know?
Right.
I'm worried if they don't find him some way to like progress or get over some of his PTSD or work on it.
I'm trying not to ruin things for you, but you're asking the right questions. You are asking the right questions.
I know.
That's all I'm saying. You're asking the right questions. So
there's no bad question.
There's no bad questions, just dumb answers.
Yeah.
Or answers I can't tell you about to ruin the story. But the way it's progressing so far, I honestly think it might be I don't even think it's a sleeper of the season. It's going to be one of the best of the season.
I mean, we did get pitched it essentially by somebody else as well.
Yeah.
This is completely not related, but sort of related. Reading all the stuff I read manhwa-wise, watching all the animes I've watched, it makes me feel like there's so much bullying in Japan in high schools.
Ain't it though? Right?
And there's no way there's more bullying in Japanese high schools than there is in American high schools.
I got clowned on.
Way.
Yeah.
Like once or twice.
I did it to myself. I'll tell that story at some point in the sidebar, but
I was thinking the time you got slapped in the back really fucking hard for no reason.
I was thinking about the tidings story.
I was.
Yeah.
I understand.
Aren't we all
I'm just saying.
I
was standing there for both of those things.
Yeah, those were not. Everyone was standing there for one of them, but
yeah.
literally everybody.
Yeah.
But okay, so again, you're right.
Like, is it
really that bad? A
I
Japanese
can't
viewer,
imagine.
please tell us. What is there really that much bullying in high school? Is it that rigid of a?
Well, I know it's like definitely a social like collectivism thing where they want to get you to like collectively do something like, and peer pressure is a big deal with that, right?
Right.
There's quote unquote bullying in the workplace to get everyone to stay late to work hard. You know what I mean? It's quote unquote because like if you take a vacation, everyone will like give you shit for it.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. For sure.
But the question that I'm having is it like delinquents are a big thing in anime as a trope. And then obviously just like absolutely relentless bullying is in every fucking show.
I think there's a heavier notion of social alignment in Japan. We've mentioned it on the show. I think you may have said it, that it's kind of a custom that even if you're like looking a little bit overweight, they'll literally poke your gut. And that's like...
That's our boy Chris Broad said it from abroad.
Yeah, you're
Japan.
right. Yeah, that's it. Yes, he even said that like in Japan, they will poke your gut if they think you're getting too fat. And like, whoa. You try that shit in America, you're going to get like canceled. You're going to get canceled so quick. That's not even a question. So, I mean...
No offense, guys. That's not bullying.
Right. But if that is what is a social acceptance compared to like an American view of things, like imagine you going up to someone and poking them because they're larger. Come on. That wouldn't work in America.
Yeah, but like you fuck them up once and they'll leave you alone. It's kind of like America standards.
That's fair. It's just a little crack over a little crack over the head. No big deal.
I don't know. I find it so interesting, like because we all view like Japan as this place, this like relative utopia in terms of law and order, where like not a lot of bad shit happens over there.
The crime rate is stupid low. But
is it because they don't consider this shit crime?
or they're just smart enough not to get caught.
No.
You don't know that. See, who knows that?
No, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting thing to bring up because, you know, the shut-in, and like, is that part of why all those hikikomori exist? Because they're getting demolished in school all the time.
That's the evidence that they
I think
pose.
it's social pressure, but I don't know if it's necessarily bullying. That's the problem.
Right.
I know they're very rigid about like academics and like doing things right.
Yeah.
But does that, is that the real reason for the hikikomori and all the otaku shut-ins? Or is the reason because they just got fucking literally PTSD'd?
Well, and that's kind of, there's a quote he has. I won't give the context exactly what he says or why he says it.
I'm asking the void. I know that both of us don't know the answer.
I know we don't know the answer, but he gives Rudy.
Speaking of that, I know the answer. The answer is
Rudy is the main character of the show, and when he's finally a little more grown up.
Bad name.
Yeah, well, it's Rudius, but they call him Rudy for short.
That's his like
Rudius Grey Rat is his full name.
Terrible.
He's from the Grey Rats. Well, it's kind of very Game of Thronesy, like,
yeah.
Greyjoys and all that shit. But he has a line where he says, "All I was doing in my room was shut in because I was outside is despair. All I've known out here is despair." And he's just in there, just hard JON, charging up the JO crystal. But he says, "Out there is despair. All I've known out there is despair. So why would I ever leave this?" And he didn't for years. And he said, "All I did was fantasize about a world where it wasn't out there." So that's what he was doing, is fantasizing in his room, wasting, but fantasizing for something different. And the way he reacted to him being in another world with magic and everything was, I think, very realistic at a look. Like, okay.
I think you're going to hate to find out that this show is actually just him in a coma.
He literally jacked himself into a coma.
Yeah.
Son, are you okay? Oh, he's so dehydrated. It's everywhere.
He's
Fuck.
a gray rat now.
I'm a gray rat now. Oh my God.
I'm a baby. Ooh, goo.
Season 3, last episode, him in the hospital on a saline drip. Yeah, I've never seen a man masturbate the skin off of his own dick, but you found a way. Like, shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sir, is he okay? Yeah, he just literally came half a gallon in half hour.
This is getting a little bit lewd.
But I'm just, what do you mean a little bit lewd?
Very lewd.
The show is lewd. This is explicit material. We check the not for kids box every week.
It's true. We do that.
We have the license to do this. But ignore all of the herky jerky for a second. The way they present him.
He was jerking his gherkin.
Choking his chicken, all that stuff. No big deal. But ignore that for a second. I think it was a realistic look because all of these quote unquote otakus are these almost like skinny, pretty boys who are good at games and end up being like, way overpowered. Not this guy. He has a talent. And it's obvious he's obviously above the rest. They're kind of above the rest at magic. But he's not the...
Is it because he understands how fire's made?
No, it's not. Well,
yeah, you idiot.
You'll see.
I think you actually don't hate that other show that we talked about.
Wiseman's Grandchild?
Yeah.
Stepson's grand aunt?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I hate it. Sorry, I don't hate it. I think
Eighth Son, are you kidding me?
That one's trash. I don't want to hear that.
It gets so lewd.
That one's so bad.
Oh, it's lewd as hell. I love it.
But he's not like Sword Art Online. Kirito is powerful at everything. He's so powerful, he doesn't have to be powerful at anything else. He's literally a god, right? Naofumi, making himself a god. All of these characters are now making themselves gods of their own worlds. He's not the best at everything. Rudy's not the best at everything.
You're also only 5 eps in, so we don't know. He might become a god.
He's pretty trash at swordsplay, I will say. He's really bad at swordsplay.
You don't need to be good at swordsplay when you can shoot fucking firebolts.
You say that, but he also gets trashed on at some point by a swordsman because there are like 2 schools. It's literally magician or swordsman, and then there's like 7 levels of magic you can learn, and there's like 3 schools of swordsmanship you can learn. You're gonna like it because it has a bunch of tiers and like groups, and it's got a lot of metrics.
That's that shit I need to hear about.
Yeah, I think you'll like it because it's got like you can go from beginner all the way through advanced, and then king, emperor, god, divine magic.
That's a liar.
That's
You're
all
lying.
No, and then there's like 3 schools of swordsmanship: the sword god, the north god, and the water god.
What the fuck is that? Okay,
Yes.
get out of here. I'm watching this right now.
Yeah, so there's a lot, and he's fleshing it out because he's also learning with us. I like the idea because he had the social acuity of a baby because he's been a shut-in for 20 years. He doesn't know how to have a fucking conversation and still doesn't know how to have a conversation. So he's learning how to operate in society from a baby's perspective onward because he was always a toddler level of socialization onward. I found that compelling to put a true shut-in otaku as a baby because that's essentially what you are. You're a toddler that jerks it and plays video games all day. That's what that's what that shut-in life kind of is. And that's what it emulates. It's a very real look, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So,
are you trying to say something about me?
I think it's really going to speak to you specifically. Given everything I've said, I now realize how custom built the show is for your lifestyle,
like
right?
Me specifically.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't go outside.
I mean,
and I have no friends.
In so many words, I just don't. I'm not putting my finger on quite the way to explain it to you, but I think this
is going to speak to me.
You're going to take a lot away, I think, Is
it going to teach me to go outside?
I think it's going to teach you a lot of things, actually.
Is it going to teach me to, talk to people?
I mean, if that's what you garnish from the show, it's there for you to learn. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a learning experience. It was for me just in a couple areas. I didn't need much I didn't need much from the show, what it was offering, how to socialize, I don't know how to do that.
Go outside.
Just how to go outside and how to operate within normal society. But I mean, I think you have a lot there too.
There's a lot that I can glean from this.
It's speaking to you specifically. It's almost really? Saying, show this to Ethan because
it literally says dedicated to Ethan in the first episode.
In Japanese, sure, I translated it, but it did say it, off the rip, and it's to Ethan
from Weebology.
Yeah, for the Dr. Ethan. They did say doctor.
Well, that's
in there.
nice.
Yeah, it was. And it just said something like go outside or something. Translation got weird, but it definitely it definitely said watch this then go outside or something to that effect. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Well, my response is going outside is overrated.
Yeah, you should watch the show.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep. Like I said, it is only 5 episodes, and I know I'm popping it off early, but this is also a trial. Can I pop off a good pitch on essentially a religion of 3? And I know you might be like, this is a bad pitch because you opened it with a guy jerking it to hentai.
It definitely didn't help.
But I
also think potentially unnecessary to even tell me that on air.
I'm pitching to you. Hey, either I tell you or you just get exposed to it, huh? Do we need another banana?
I think you should have told me, but
do we need another banana fish?
Air.
Do we need another banana fish situation on our hands?
Yeah, or that other one where there was straight up rape in the middle for no reason.
Banana fish.
Insect. Cagaster.
Cagaster of an insect cage?
Something like that. Terrible name still.
It is. It's a bad name. I still think banana fish was way worse.
I think that show is definitely worse. Very, very aggressive on the
I liked that show, all things considered. I mean,
a lot of people liked it. I'm not into boy love. Oops.
Well, we did just watch essentially Girl Love with Scum Swish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was our hands were tied there.
Yeah, I mean, my hands were tied on banana fish too.
Well, I'm just saying, and your hands are tied on jobless reincarnation now. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to lead with all the shit up front, so you're not surprised.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But like I said, I pitched it to you because we've seen so many quote unquote shut in becoming the MC. No, this is the real one.
I like that aspect of him just not being instantly willing to go outside of his cage.
That's what it is.
I think that is something that is very unrealistic. But I think one way that they kind of get around that generally with isekai is they say, well, he's into games, and so now he's in a place where he feels like he's in a game, so he's really hype about it. You know what I mean?
That's a valid reaction. It's not unbelievable. But I find it even more reasonably compelling that he realizes
has shit to work through.
Yeah, he does have shit to work through, and it's evident that just because you come from another world doesn't mean all that stuff from the other world just magically goes away.
Does he bring his smartphone with him, though? That's the real question.
He doesn't, because this show's better than that.
Oh.
It's a little above that bullshit.
But he does bring his hard drive with 40 terabytes of hentai on
the whole tower. The whole tower. His entire mission is to build a monitor just to plug into it so he can finally look at that sweet, sweet taxes 98 folder.
Yeah, of course.
His junior year homework folder. Hey, son, why is your folder that's for homework a terabyte and a half? Oh, I don't know, Dad.
I do a lot of homework.
I study really hard, Dad.
Son, you didn't even pay taxes in 98. They don't know
Neither
that.
did you, Dad. Shut up.
Neither did you, Dad. All right, fair enough. I deserve that.
Kettle calling me black and all that shit. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
Get out of my room. No one asked you. Lock it on the way out. But yeah, we have a couple isekais on our hands.
That's good.
I didn't ask for that, but
I'll probably start that as like a break in a few minutes here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to just instantly start writing this essay again. We've got a lot of stuff going through the brain. That's scary.
Damn it! It scares every time. How far did we get?
40 minutes.
Okay. It was literally 40 minutes on the money.
Yeah.
So I learned now that was at 41 minutes when we started recording. So every percent on that camera is a minute in 4K.
Fair enough.
I guess we know that now.
But yeah, so we kind of did our pitch and ditch thing. I'm pretty excited to see what you think about that show. I don't think you're going to be like super crazy about it, but I think it's going to be solid and a very very serviceable addition to your isekai world.
I think you might be more enthralled in the show I have pitched than even you're expecting right now. I was blindsided by this show. Like I was like, all right, Giga, come on. Can't be that good,
yeah,
right?
I mean, like Ricky has been telling me all the hentai he's been watching all of a sudden, and I'm like, what happened?
Well, don't
he's like,
fucking say it on air.
Yeah,
God.
and he's like, well,
What?
You'll see.
I said that in confidence. Oh yeah. I basically screamed sauce at the screen, and it just started showing me numbers, and I was like, oh my God, this is
like changed your whole life.
Everything I needed.
But yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I did want to talk about a few things that I have read recently.
Hit me.
I'll just do it quick here. We're about 42 minutes in.
Yeah. This is going to be a quick pop-up. We'll end it with this nice little... Is this manhwa?
Yeah, webtoons.
Webtoon manhwa corner.
So it's pretty cool because most of the ones that I'm reading right now are now like on a season break. So if you perhaps wanted to catch up on these, this is a great time.
Now's the time. Okay.
Because then you can be current when they come back from hiatus.
All right. Run it down for me, boy.
So... The Gamer, which is one that I mentioned as a...
You did mention... I remember that.
As a clear, like...
Is that the
predecessor to Solo Leveling.
Okay.
So that one is now on... I think it's season 4 has just ended.
Yo,
so
how many...
350 motherfucking...
Ooh, guess I'll be done by tomorrow at noon.
Episodes.
All right.
You will not, but... I think my burn rate appears to be about 100 a week is what I can get through.
That's not bad. I mean, I got through Soul Leveling in a day or two.
Well, it very much depends on the actual show, or whatever
Manhwa?
IP, because some of them are very, very short, but they do them more frequently. Like they release them every other day or something like that.
Oh, but it's almost like a snippet, like a weekly would be.
Yeah,
it's
cool. Real. Well, it's smaller than what a weekly one would be.
Right, just like a snippet of size.
Yeah,
fraction.
Yeah. So the Gamer, I think it's really good. I think it's like it definitely feels a little aged. Like it's got a lot of the concepts that you would have expected a long time ago. But the art gets way better near the end here where we're at.
I was going to ask about
the story gets pretty interesting. Powers just go out of this fucking world.
Yes.
Explosion. Weak Hero is on hiatus as well. Season 2 just ended, or I don't know if it's season 2 or 1. It might be season 1 only, but we are 127 episodes in.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
This one, I promise you'll like and get through quick.
No, you're just giving me so much good shit to read. I don't think I have time to do anything else.
So this one's all about like this kid who is like a kind of dorky looking guy, really smart.
As one does.
But ruthless as fuck in a street fight.
Nice. I like it. So he's scrappy, speedy,
he just like will go way harder than anyone's expecting in a street fight.
Oh shit. Okay.
And so it's basically this story is all about this hierarchy of schools in Korea.
Okay.
Delinquents around the schools, basically. So
Seen
there's
that
like
trope before. Yeah.
Well, there's like a list of who's the strongest, essentially.
Fuck yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's like a bingo book. Let's go.
It's exactly like that.
Hell yeah.
And this kid is just basically not intentionally getting involved, but thrust in, and then just absolutely ripping everyone a new asshole.
Perfect. That's what I want.
And really good characters. You even like the bad guys. Like, it's actually crazy.
Sign of a good IP.
Yeah. Very, very much highly recommend, especially if you like any like delinquent stuff or like badass shit. Like, really cool fights. I think they're really well drawn and stuff like that as well.
Seems powerless, right? Like no powers, no superpowers.
No. It's just like normal.
Just straight. Okay.
Normal, knuckles to freaking noggins.
All right. Knuckles to noggins. Let's go.
Very cool.
All right.
Unordinary, which I mentioned last week on.
This is the one that felt like My Hero a little bit, right?
Yeah, so it's My Hero, except for the main character is essentially like powerless in a world of powers.
Okay. Very much beginning of My Hero for sure.
This has a little like ReZero-esque near the end, like it's a little torture-y.
Okay, but I'm kind of here for that because extreme situations we've seen can push kind of human emotional boundaries and good character development. So
trust me, there is a absolute bevy of that.
Perfect. That's makes for good. If you're going to use that tortureness, make sure you use it well, right?
I mean, there's like a massive bombshell about halfway through where we're at.
Ooh.
Right now we're on episode.
Yeah, how many we got for that one?
222.
You've given me 600, almost 600 chapters. You did give me more than 600 chapters.
Yeah, but this isn't like chapters.
No,
like
I know.
A manga.
Right.
This one has 4.8 million users that read it.
What?
And it is rated a 9.8.
What?
It is under the superhero category. The other ones, 842,000 users read it, Weak Hero, with a 9.8.
Okay.
The Gamer has 1.8 million users with a 9.6. So very solid.
Can you hit me with the soul leveling and see how that compares?
So soul leveling isn't on this anymore, so I can't do that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But fascinating that Unordinary is quadruple the Gamer and even more than Weak Hero. Do you think that there's merit for that IP to be that much more celebrated or followed? Unordinary versus the other two?
I think it's just because it's superhero related, sort of.
So
it's has that My Hero kind of feel.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes total sense to me, frankly.
Yeah, and it's got like a really cool ranking system for like how your powers are rated and stuff like that as well.
I might start Unordinary before the other two. That one's tickling the old fancy there. I think the numbers did it for me. Like, why is nearly 5 million users reading that? And with that, a 9.8.
Yeah, I mean, so it is really, really good. Like, it's something that I'm obviously going to continue watching, but like I said, there's a little bit of that, like, Subaru, like, torture-esque kind of near the end where...
As much as I love ReZero, I think at least I'll be attuned to that story trope of using something like that.
Well, it's like, it's a situation where it's like society has wronged these people, but they have like very weird responses, but it's so extended. Like,
gotcha.
Reasonable responses, but an extended response to where you're like, all right, bud, maybe now it's time to go get fucking therapy kind of situation.
Wow. Okay. An actual real look, a little more gritty look to a world that's kind of diametrically celebrating those with powers and really shitting on ones that don't. It's kind of like a little more Black Clover in that regard. If Black Clover took it to bigger extremes is the vibe I'm getting. Because magic lists are fucking peasants and
But this is like a grittier.
But this is grittier than that. Okay.
100%.
Okay, that's a good sell. I'm in for that.
And then the last one that I'm currently reading, all the rest I'm caught up on, is called Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Not something I immediately thought of watching or reading, but
you realize it smells like a solo leveling clone, right? It really smells like that.
Yeah,
kind of clone.
1.1 million users are reading it.
Okay.
9.8, and the main character's name is Ethan. So.
Oh yeah, this is.
So there's currently out there is 262.
Ugh.
But I am only up to 50 something, and it's kind of like the guy is the number one person in the game, essentially.
Sure.
And he just like knows this game inside and out.
Okay.
And it's a very interesting look at a game as if like a Ready Player One kind of feel to it, where like stuff that happens in the game can affect real life in some regards.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very good so far. I'm really liking it. I think it'll be interesting. It has a little bit of this aspect of like a bug player, where like you can have some people that like fuck with the system in some way.
But it's more than one individual.
Yeah,
Some others can
like
do.
a lot of weird stuff is going on.
That when we talk about solo leveling, is something I'm actually hoping for. So that sounds like a cool IP. Is that in solo leveling, I'm hoping there are other players, which we know from the story now there probably will be.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think there is. I think that there's this connection to this other world with the monarchs.
Sure.
And for whatever reason, he's assumed the life of a monarch.
We've talked about where does it go from a scaling standpoint, and I think the only other place it can go is other people that are at the level of Beyond Hunter, their players. From a scaling standpoint, this IP, the Hardcore Leveling Warrior, seems to be exploring that concept from the rip, where they're basically like, there are other glitches in this system. So I'm here for that. Okay.
And it's got this interesting thing where, and I think this is really like a compelling thing for any like sort of isekai-esque thing, is where there was a war in the game that has affected the way that the game's like history exists.
You're right.
Which is something that I really like in games in general.
Yeah,
which is a reason why I like watching GTA RP occasionally.
Yeah, right.
Like wars that happened in that game, players playing as their characters
can have lasting effects
because that gang no longer exists, or it broke up that gang. You know what I mean? It has like what do they call it? Knockdown effects.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think that stuff's really really cool. Just like having like stuff that players do means something.
Of course. But
very cool.
Whether it's a game or not, those ramifications mean something as a longevity of a story. So, okay. That is nearly 1,000 chapters.
I got y'all.
Yeah. So go do your freaking homework.
Freaking Dinkenberg.
But thank you so much for coming to this little pitcher ditch session of all things. We will be back in a couple weeks with the Redux to rate these isekais. Yeah. Definitely. So we'll definitely keep the isekais light until then. And then fuck y'all, we're doing all the isekais. Every isekai. We're going to review them all. This is an isekai show now.
Yeah.
But if you want to listen with your eyeballs and earballs, hello, YouTube gang. I know the camera rang out, and I will definitely be adding the sweet graphic. And maybe even since the manhwa portion of this might give you some pictures of the man. You know what? I'm promising too much. I probably won't do all that shit.
What are you doing here?
I know. I'm literally piling it on with.
It's gonna be a black screen.
Graphics. But if you want to listen with just your earballs and not your eyeballs, for like you're gonna have to do for the last part of this one, go to anywhere you get your podcast fix, from Apple Podcasts to Spotify to Google and everything in between.
Yeah, I mean, just hit them up, man.
Anywhere you want to get them. Leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and a written review if you could. It would help us pop up on other people's recommendeds, so they get all the anime goodness. And a like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel would be muy helpful. I am a Spanish boy. Muy caliente. I know Spanish. Don't dispute me. We got an Instagram at weebologyp. We got memes on. Oh, whoops, that's the Twitter.
Yeah, I was say weebology.podcast.
We got memes on news and sometimes giveaways. By the time this one comes out, hopefully we'll have a meme or 2 up. Who fucking knows? Don't at me. I'm chilling.
No promises.
But if you want to at me, hit us up on Twitter at weebologyp. We post there less than Instagram, but I have no follow up for that. It's just a butt. That's it.
But we're trying.
But we're trying, I guess. We have a lot of stuff going on. If you want to hit us up old school, just with a straight up email, say hi, give us a little bit of love, or tell us to watch something. We have a growing viewer suggestion list, and we have a new format that we're going to try to do this year to get more anime suggestions out, so you guys get the shows watched and heard. But email any of that and more. weebologypodcast@gmail.com. How's that?
Why are we stumbling through these finally? Like, we've done these 100 times.
We're at the end of a double session. I'm tired. I want to go home.
True.
But you know what? We got to finish these. We got to power it through. Because if you want to give us a little bit of monetary love, only if you can, patreon.com/weebology. $1 and up gets you into our Discord. You can talk to all of the other Patreon folk, and any of the past guests we have had on our show are also going to be there to, discuss just schmooze.
Most of them.
And schmooze with them. No big deal. $3 and up gets you our side content podcast, The Syllabus Sidebar, our lo-fi, high vibes, sometimes anime, sometimes not.
It's such a tight little blurb.
Podcast where we have other segments. We talk about work. We talk about, fun topics. We have our own segments on there. So if you want to get on that action, $3 and up gets you that. And we are working on the Patreon merch, I promise. That's a me thing. I am. I got to talk to you about that website thing. We got to buy like an e-commerce plan or some shit.
Yeah.
For a lot of these. But we'll deal with that in time. And I think honestly that's all the plugs we got. I think last week we advertised that we will be on the Lords of Dorktown podcast. We're talking about Fire Force. You should go check them out anywhere you get your podcast fixed. We had a really good time with that. But this week, the Otaku Melancholy that we were just on should be out by now, right? Because that should be out for Valentine's Day. And this is the one that's coming out on the 15th when they're listening.
Yeah,
right now.
I think that episode will be out tomorrow as you're hearing this.
Yes. So tomorrow, from the time you're listening to this, we were on another podcast called Otaku Melancholy, and they are fantastic guys over there. Matt and Brad, I believe their names were.
Yep.
And we talked about a very, very not great romance show called Scum's Wish. And if you want to hear our thoughts on a heavy romance show, which we don't watch commonly, head over to Otaku Melancholy. Great guys, great show, great content, and we had a great time. So great all around. Great things all around. Yeah, I really wasn't a big fan of Scum's Wish. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sorry. Fuck it, I'm not sorry.
Hot.
It's not. It's so hot, but so bad. But until I can cleanse my brain of Scum's Wish, I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ethan.
And this has been Weebology. Deuces. I really fumbled the fucking plugs,
okay,
man.
bro.
I'm going to go home and watch one.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.